Now the election nastiness is out of the way for the next little while. I'm going to try to lighten the show up a little bit and go after some really weird and wacky things, like conspiracy theories. You know, those little madcap urban legends that say every little thing that annoys us is the work of some evil, heartless organization that's trying to take over the world or something like that. Now, I know I've had my moments of random paranoia on this show. Meanwhile, all you see commercials for these days is the latest clone to come from the Hollywood cookie cutter. That's all the proof that you need that companies are trying to control what you think. But that was definitely not my best day. For instance, Hollywood favoring remakes over original work is more likely a matter of greed and laziness than some kind of suppression. To be honest, I realized that pretty much as soon as I put the whole thing online in the first place. The point is, a lot of these so-called conspiracies can be unraveled either through a quick Google search or by using this funny little thing called your brain. What got me started on this was this thing that a friend sent me, which is a video by Hal Turner about the so-called Amero, which is supposed to be the currency of the North American Union that's secretly being formed by Canada, America, and Mexico. First of all, I wouldn't believe anything coming from a guy well known for denying that the Holocaust took place, as well as being stupid enough to threaten several public figures on the air. But some people took notice when he posted a video showing an Amero coin that was supposedly minted by the US government. The problem is that even a quick check on Snopes, you know, those guys that look into urban legends on the internet, would have shown these people that the coins are collectibles available since 2005, intended to create discussion on the North American Union, not endorse it. Besides, it doesn't make sense for even the most right-wing politicians in these countries to support a merger that makes them lose money, something that they're much more concerned about than anything else. Getting even dumber are the 9/11 theories still going around today, like the whole thing being an inside job and that the World Trade Center was destroyed by a controlled demolition. Really? As opposed to those two huge jetliners crashing into the middle of the towers loaded with jet fuel and possibly explosives? Come on, I know that North America isn't exactly bursting with geniuses, but give us some credit. If you take out a support structure like a wall and any beams behind it, then anything staying on is going to fall. You don't need an engineering degree to figure that out. It's called gravity. I don't doubt that the Bush administration knew about it and did nothing, and I'm willing to entertain the idea that they saw a chance to take as much power as they could, but somehow the idea of them staging the thing seems like a bit of a stretch. After all, Dick Cheney couldn't even shoot a hind partner without the press jumping all over it. Do you really think he could stage a terrorist attack without someone noticing? Finally, we get into the current widespread and encouraged stupidity, namely the bullshit being spread about Barack Obama. You know what I'm talking about, those ones that say Obama isn't really a Christian, even though he took some heat over things that his old pastor said. The ones that say he isn't patriotic just because he supposedly doesn't wear flag lapels or feature the American flag on his campaign jet and therefore has some hidden Muslim agenda or whatever nonsense is being said about him this week. As I've said before, people who are so ignorant and racist as to infer that being a non-Christian would somehow make a man dangerous to America are the last ones who deserve attention or credibility. That being said, let's look into this and a little bit more. Part of the reason this thing about Obama's supposed lack of patriotism is this photo that shows him not placing his hand over his heart, supposedly during the singing of the national anthem, though the accuracy of that is vague. The problem is that the actual flag code states that persons are also expected to face the flag, and as you can see, no one is facing the only flag in this picture. Actually, it's kind of hard to tell what any of them is supposedly facing. In any event, modern custom doesn't actually require the hand over the heart thing as far as I can tell. Moving on, let's take a look at this picture of Obama's plane. You know, the one that supposedly doesn't have the stars and stripes on it. The tail pretty clearly shows the sun rising over a stylized flag. Furthermore, presidential candidates have been using planes that didn't have the flag on them for at least 10 years, current contender John McCain being the most recent example, and no one said a word over it. The same sort of thing goes for the vague and unfriendly association Obama had with former terrorist Bill Ayers. Drawing the conclusion that Obama is a terrorist just because of that is not only unconstitutional, but makes no sense. And it's like saying I'm a psychotic Bible thumper because my ex-girlfriend being like that. One person's actions do not automatically relate to those of a stranger. Period. This just furthers my belief that Obama were a white man with a Christian-sounding name, we wouldn't even be hearing this crap. Heck, I already know that we wouldn't even be hearing this nonsense about him being the Antichrist, because supposedly the Book of Revelation describes the Antichrist as a Muslim. This is complete garbage, not only because Obama isn't a Muslim, but because Islam didn't even exist when any part of the Bible was written. Even though I'm very much in favor of attacking authority and the status quo, the big difference between me and the sort of idiots that spread conspiracy theories is that I actually check things out first. That's actually a reason why even some conservatives respect my views. I don't just take people's word for it, I do my homework first. You know, it's kind of ironic that a lot of these wingnuts who make this stuff up say things like, here's what they don't want you to know, because so many of their rants just fall apart if you think about it at all. Enough said.